Hello, I'm Janna, and welcome back to the Crafty Corner. Today, we're going to be having some frosty fun with the brand new stamp set by Tim Holtz, Mr. Frosty, an absolutely adorable snowman. So, of course, we need to create him a little winter scene. If you'd like to see exactly which supplies we're going to be using, go ahead and pause here. Now, before we head over to the Crafty Corner, just a heads up, on December 13th, we're going to be starting the 12 Days of Craftmas. So be sure to tune in for all of the holiday Christmas making magic. All right, let's head over to the Crafty Corner. Today, we're going to be having some winter fun. And to start, we're going to be making a winter background. We're going to be using a combination of distress spray and spritz and some embossing. So first things first, let's go ahead and take our water and mist our distressed watercolor cardstock. I have the smooth side up for this background. And of course, we'll start with our lightest color, which happens to be tumbled glass. And this is already starting to look nice and wintry. Next, we're going to go in with just a little bit of iced spruce, just for a little bit grungier color going on. And then I want to add some speckled egg. And that's going to give us some very creamy color. But I'm going to go pretty easy with that. Don't want to overpower the tumbled glass. Now I'm just going to pick this up, let the drips drip around, and then we're going to start drying off our background with the Ranger Heat tool. So we'll be back in just a moment once our background is all nice and dry. Here is our background. Now the only thing to add is a little bit of sparkle with some Distress Spritz Faded Jeans. So we're going to give this a really good shake. And just making sure that everything at the bottom is incorporated in. Not quite. I can still see a little bit of sediment. So another really good shake. Okay. And we're just going to give a very light spritz just for a bit of sparkle. Great. And we'll just quickly clear the mat. I'm going to give this a very quick dry with the Ranger Heat tool. We'll just dim the volume for a moment. Now we are ready for a bit of embossing. The stamp set that we're going to be using today is Mr. Frostie CMS499, and this is too cute. I love the adorable snowman, and we also have these fantastic snowflakes in the background. So we're going to use these to build up our winter scene. So let's go ahead. We're going to take those. I've got a stamping block right here, and I've got the embossing dabber that we're going to use to add our embossing powder, which is going to be the Ranger White embossing powder. That's a nice opaque embossing powder, and that's going to show up our snowflakes very nicely in the background. So let's go ahead and start stamping. Now, to make sure that you've got good coverage on your stamp, just give your stamp a little tilt, and if you see a reflection, that means you've got your stamp covered. If there's a spot without reflection, go back and add a bit more embossing ink. So we're just going to stamp a few of these across the background, then go from there. Now, with the embossing dabber, I like to store it on its side. That way it doesn't take forever for all that lovely ink to make its way down to the dabber. If you leave the dabber right side up, then all that ink has to go to the bottom, and then it takes forever for it to get back towards the front of the bottle after you turn it and want to stamp. So I always keep mine on my side just to make the ink move in the right direction. Okay, take our snowflake. Whoops. And right there, I guess. Okay, just giving this a quick tilt. Looks like we're pretty good. So I think I want two more. We'll stamp again with this large one. Let's put that here. And then I want the little one as well. And let's put that right here. Great. So let's bring in a scrap piece of paper. And now we can just add the embossing powder. I'm just going to dump this on and we'll put the rest right back into the jar. So just dumping it. There we go. Oh, what happened to that snowflake there? Oh yeah, that's the one that didn't... Okay, that one doesn't really belong. Okay, so that's looking good. Let's go ahead and emboss this. And we'll just put that powder right back into the jar. There we go. Move that to the side, quickly clear down the surface. And I've got the Sizzix embossing gun that we'll use to melt out the powder. So back in just a moment after we've got our snowflakes embossed. Okay, the embossing is looking great. We've got some lovely snowflakes on here. Now, before we dive into the stamping, I do want to add a border to this. And to do that, we're going to be pulling in some foundry wax. Foundry wax is going to give us a nice silver shiny border. So, I'm just going to give this a shake and put my stamps back. There we go. Now, I've always found that the sterling foundry wax tends to be a little bit thicker than the others, so you really have to shake the heck out of it in order to get all of that material on the inside to incorporate itself properly. So, just shaking and putting away stamps. Okay, there we go. Stamps are good for the moment. Just give that a good whack. I think we're pretty good. I wish I could hear that mixing ball a bit better. I think we've got it, so we're going to just put that down off to the side. And I'm just going to grab a paintbrush and we'll start brushing that onto the edge. So, just taking a brush and quickly moving along the side because this stuff dries surprisingly quickly. And when it dries, it becomes this really interesting kind of powder that if you touch it too much, it's going to fall right off whatever you put it on. So, just trying to move very quickly around the edges. Okay. And just continuing to move. Now, I do have a brush that's entirely dedicated just to the foundry wax because that brush has gotten pretty mangled with all of the application of the foundry wax. Okay. And turn, that's halfway there. Okay. Good. Okay, slowly getting there. All right, I need just a little bit more foundry wax. So I'll give the bottle another good shake. And add just a little bit more. Okay, I think we're good. Just picking this up. There we go. Dabbing that right along the edge. Pretty good. And finishing up. Oh, okay, come on. Just trying to brush that along. Almost there. Alright, so foundry wax is applied. Let's go ahead and put this on fast forward as we make this nice and shiny with the heat. Here is that finished border with the foundry wax, and that came out wonderful. I love the icy look that this gives it. Okay, so we're going to set that aside, and now we're going to work on stamping our main focal point, which is going to be this adorable snowman. So let's go ahead, we'll take that, put that right onto the stamping block, and now I just need a small bit of paper to stamp on. There we go. That should work. All right, so we're going to stamp in some standard black ink. This is the Black Soot Distress Archival, and I'm stamping on some Distress White Heavy Stock. The majority of this is going to be white, so I want to use the really nice white paper. And then I can just do a little bit of tinting for like the nose, the scarf, and part of the hat. Okay, so we've got plenty of ink. Let's go ahead and stamp this down. Oh, this is so cute. All right. And good firm pressure. Good. And let's just zoom in a little bit. Excellent. So we've got our snowman, and now we're going to bring in a few colors to add color with. We've got some squeezed lemonade, carved pumpkin, lucky clover, and black soot. Now I'll be applying these with a distress water brush. And I've got one all ready. So we're going to color first and then kind of just tint this. So we'll start with the buckle. I think I'll do all my coloring first. That seems to be the easier way to go about this. A little bit of orange for the nose. There we go. And green for the scarf. Okay. Great. And, oh, you know what? I don't want to do black for that band. I actually want to do blue. And I've got Blueprint Sketch. Great. Now we'll just take our brush. I'll start lightest color first with the squeezed lemonade. I'll just blend that out. Excellent. Then we'll go into the carved pumpkin. Okay. There we go. And then to the lucky clover. Doesn't take a lot, just a little bit of water to blend out our quick scribbles. Okay. Very good. And then just a little bit for the blueprint sketch. There we go. All right. That was nice and easy. So next we'll just take our recoil scissors and cut this out. So I've got the smaller version. We'll just flip the little safety thing and we are good to cut. So just gonna carefully work our way around the image, and then I'll be able to add this right onto our card front with a few foam squares just for a little bit of dimension. Gotta love the tonic recoil. They're so easy on the hands, and it's very, very easy to get into tight corners with these. I just find they cut really smoothly. So just work our way around, and then we can build the card. So after this, I want to add a little bit more snow, and I was thinking it'd be fun to play with some of the distress glitter, and we could add a little bits of sparkle in our background. So that will be the next step after we attach the focal point. And of course, for our glue of choice, that will be with some collage medium. Okay, there we go. More than halfway around the image. And just a tight curve. There. I love these. My hands used to cramp up something terrible when I do big batches of fussy cutting, but now this is much easier on the hand. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, I think that will be good as it is. Okay. All right, so just toss those scraps in the recycling and bring back our card front. There we go. And we're going to stick our snowman right here. We'll have a little bit to trim off the edge, but not a problem. Nope, I just want my skinny pieces of foam. Okay, and flip this over. Great. And we'll just take off those little backing pieces and stick them down. Okay, there we go. And let's place this. So right here. Okay, and we'll just flip that over and trim. Okay, and let's back the camera up just a bit. Great. So now, time to add a bit more sparkle. So I'm going to take some collage medium, and I'm just going to start dotting some dots around for a bit of snow. So let's see here. And here's our distress glitter. I love that large bottle. It is so fun. I just love the design of it. And just some little dots. Yeah, added sparkle. I like that. Good. And again, I'll bring in some scrap paper. Got that. And we're just going to dump, and I can retrieve the extra glitter after. There we go. Ooh, very sparkly. Love that. All right, so I'm just going to set this aside for a moment, and we're going to put that extra glitter right back into the bottle. There we go. Great. Now the last thing to do is choose a sentiment. Now I have got lots and lots of choice, but I wanted to go into the sticker book. And let's see what we have here. We've got all these parchment type pieces. Ooh, there's so many good ones. Ooh. In the cold frosty air. I like that. That's really good. We'll just set that aside. Kind of want to do a multi-layer of stickers. In the cold and frosty air. No, I'm saving that for another one. Christmas time in the city. Not walking in a winter wonderland. There's so many. Ooh, in the cold frosty air on the frosty hills. All right, here we go. The snowflakes came down. All right, so we've got something here. Pull this back, and we'll just stick this right here. Now I just have to be careful and make sure that everything lines up. That's the one thing I do have a little trouble with, making things even. Okay, and I'm not even going to try to do that while looking through the camera. I'm going to get closer to the card and try to see what I'm doing. There we go. I just have to stick that down. Good. In the cold and frosty air on the frosty hills, the snowflakes came down. Perfect. Today, we've been playing with Distress Spray Stains and the stamp set CMS499 Mr. Frosty to create this winter-themed holiday card with adorable snowman. We also pulled in some Distress watercolor pencils for some coloring and added a touch of sparkle with Distress Spritz and Distress Glitter. Thank you so much for joining me here today at the Crafty Corner for some holiday card making fun. Until next time, happy crafting!